Okay. I started the video before I started the video. Uh, Anywho, hola. So, uh, I'm back again. As I said I would be, this is car number one. I said it was the tower, but it's not. Oops. Anywho, it is the Wheel of Fortune. And I'm going to start this one out. I'm going to start the wheel spinning, even though it's been spinning, by going back to go forward because uh, I haven't always had this perception of life. So, with that being said, my explaining my experiences and the knowledge and understanding that I've received from them doesn't mean what I'm saying is real. It's a story, and it's only a story. You have to seek out, and we have to seek out our own, the truth, our own truth, the truth. Period. Um, Stories are just stories. The way to know if something is just a story and the difference between actually knowing something is if you experienced it. Uh, I'm blessed to say I understand that now. When I read things or listen to different people, I take them just as that until I've experienced what they're talking about. Um, Most of the time, well, actually, all the time, my gut will let me know, if this is something that I need to, if this is for me, and I go off of that. But until that point, they're just stories, and this is another one. I'm not trying to uh, persuade you into doing anything or make you think one thing or another. You need to think what you're thinking, and you sit down and pay attention to what you're thinking, because I do. And I was led here. So, going back to go forward. Um, okay. And I have some notes, of course. Uh, I always wonder why I doubted what I was being told. Not an ego thing, but I felt a step ahead. I always wondered how people couldn't see and understand as I did. It didn't seem like they could see or understand as I did because if they could, I don't think they would be doing or saying or being half the things that they were, and things just didn't add up. It didn't make sense. It didn't make the sense that I had. And I didn't even know what sense it was. Um, I felt different, and I knew I felt different from others, but had no clue what it meant. While the feels sometimes and then none, what others thought were a big deal, I didn't, and what I thought was a big deal, they did not. And my gut was never wrong. And I noticed it at a very young age. And basically, I knew when somebody was full of shit, including adults. As an adult now, we don't know everything. That's part of the possibility spectrum, is understanding that you do not know. We do not know. Then knowing becomes a possibility. Look at that gift. Ashe. I was a watcher. I watched and listened. Still do. Uh, my intuition led me even then, but I was told I was being led by Jesus and God, and to give them credit. When I did something good, I should credit those guys. When I did something wrong, made a mistake, um, it was them punishing me. But what I did notice is that it came back on me really, really fast. Um, it was almost instant karma, and it's not the Western understanding of karma, more so the Hindu understanding of karma. I could never run from it if I tried. Period. Right back. I can't say I grew up in the church. However, I went enough. I read the Bible. I identified as a Christian, but I knew there was more to it. I could feel it. My main issue is not Jesus being white. I, I understood why he was white. I live in the United States of America. Listen. I digress. I didn't care he was white. I had a problem with the authority and the concreteness of it all. It was so absolute. I read it, I studied it, not enough to call myself a knower of, but enough to question it. And that's the important thing. And I delved into it. I was about that life. And I mean, I was a mess. I started throwing quotes at my mom. I'm like, oh no, Jan. Mm-mm-mm. The Bible says this and that. And I'm like, now, I'm like, it's, it's just hilarious. Um, and she's laughing too, trust me. Uh, it just didn't add up. Do this, do that. Who wrote this book? How do we know this is even true? And it was asking me to trust this entire lifetime. Uh, you know, all that on this book. This is supposed to be the rubric, but it was missing a lot for me. And it didn't sit right in my gut, and then I look around, that's the thing. It's like, oh, okay, so this is part of being able to distinguish between if one of the things, if someone's telling the truth or not, is are they living that life, a lot of people put on. And so the life that I saw that was being lived, it was go to school, you go to work, have some babies, get you a husband or wife, pay some bills, work some more, keep working, and then die. And dying is a horrible thing because it's death. No. I used to say, dude, I do not want to work. And I know it was understood or perceived as a, a lazy quality about myself, but it wasn't that I had an issue with working. It was everyone else's idea of what work should be. And the work they were doing, no, it just didn't seem right. work until you get too old to enjoy the money or life's riches. Notice money and life's riches are two different things. That no. Um, but I gave it the old college try for years and years and years until shit got rough. That's just what it is. So I fast forward on my wheel and it's over here. It's awesome. It's dope. I love it. We should love our things first. And I find myself, I'll say, semi homeless, living with someone, fired from a job, and just out here. And my whole thing was, I don't have time. I don't have time. You know, I'm being asked about my being an artist, my being all the things that I said I was, but I wasn't doing. So I wasn't those things, if you with me here. Um, to that being questioned. And, you know, it's like I said, I didn't start with this perception. That's perception. That's it. That's of the full umbrella. So funny story. I'm sitting with a friend, and she's showing me her stones and crystals, and I'm like, dude, I do not have time to play with rocks. Period. I don't have time, and that was my thing. I don't have time. I don't have time. And this kind of gets into how I would progress to actually make my own tarot cards, because shortly after that, I met another friend, and she starts buying me these stones and crystals, and I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you. But I'm about to put this in the drawer because, again, I don't have time. And then I went and had a reading done. And it told some things. But again, that was just a story too, because I didn't know anything about it. I hadn't experienced it. I had never read myself. You know, you I don't have time. I just lost my job. I'm homeless. I do know. You know, after it is when I began to change my mind. And I suddenly had more time. And then eventually it didn't exist at all. And I started questioning everything. Everything. And so the rest is history in the making. Now, like I said, our wheels didn't start spinning the day we were born. This wheel of fortune. Um, it started at creation. Your spirit has been around since creation. Jamie's new, but the spirit in Jamie creating this work, talking to you right now, the message that I have, this understanding, this knowledge, this divine knowledge, it's not mine, it's not Jamie's. If I sit here and I try to conceive of a project, I can come up with 1,000 things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's what I'm supposed to be creating. So I had this reading. Um, and I've been in an environment of someone who, already was actively reading themselves and others. And it's just kind of slowly progressed into what I do every day. So the day I started this channel on the 10th, a couple days ago, I pulled the Page of Pentacles. Okay. In reverse. Why? Because I was procrastinating. I'm good at it. Then it flipped on me today because I did what I was told to do. Therefore, I put the work out. Got the message back. This is not me saying, oh, hey, pick up some tarot cards and this, and that. There's more to everything I'm saying. I'm saying seek it out if something strikes you, because that's how I got here today. Anything I found curious, and that is with me, everything. I sought after it, and I wanted to know what someone's idea of it meant, and what could that possibly mean for me, or how it would affect me. And so I'm here today. And one other thing I'll suggest is that you look it up, just the general meaning of the Wheel of Fortune. I'm going to turn it to the Wheel of Fortune. My self-portrait Wheel of Fortune. So, uh-oh.